Okay, welcome. It's Dawn Duval with Shall We Stamp, coming to you from Central Florida. Let me load the comments as you come on. Please say hi and let me know that you're there. Let me go ahead and get my comments loaded. I hope everyone is doing well. I should have cleaned my bone folder. It's got a bunch of goo on it. I was trying to see if I had another one over here that's clean. Anyways, welcome. We'll wait a few more minutes for everyone to come on. And we've got the comments, so it might take a few minutes. I think there's like a 15-second delay. There's Denise. How you doing? I'm so glad you popped on so I can know that I'm in the right place. And, whoops, hang on. Oh, I just messed up. All right, let me get back to my cameras. Okay. All right, so what's going on down there in St. Pete? Anything exciting? It is cloudy here. I got a lot done today. Hi, Faye. How are you? I got quite a bit done today. I've only been trying to get cards sent out to my customers and team members for like 3 days. Well, really, it's been like a week. So I've got most of it done, but tomorrow is crack down, get it done day. So now everybody's coming on. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for sharing. As you come on, if you make sure to leave a comment, as your name will go into a drawing for the project that we're going to be making. And the more you share this, it helps me to reach other paper crafters. That helps me build my business. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as we're waiting for others to come on, I'll just go over a few, and you've probably heard this before, but I'm going to give you a couple of sales things. We are running, Stampin' Up! Is running a demonstrator. If you sign up to become a demonstrator, for your $99 for the starter kit, you get to choose $125 worth of product. And then Stampin' Up! Is also giving you 2 stamp sets, Queen Anne's Lace and So Much Love. So that's probably about $50 right there. A pack of rhinestones, and then they're giving you 16 card bases, 8 for each stamp set, so that if you want to hold classes or whatever, they're giving you the card bases, so all you need to do is order supplies in your starter kit, and then you're ready to go. Now, you don't have to do this as a business. I've got, I'd say probably, I've got maybe 3 people out of my first level that work this as a business. So the majority of everyone joins to get a discount, which is what I did 9 years ago. I signed up to get a discount because I thought if I'm going to order this, I might as well take advantage of getting a discount for myself, and that's what I did. So you're not required to do anything. The only thing that, depending on when you sign up, will determine when you have to meet a minimum sales goal. And that's something that I would be able to go over with you. So if you think that's something you might be interested in, let me know. It's a great opportunity during this month because you do get 2 extra stamp sets, 16 card bases, and a pack of rhinestones. That's pretty, in addition to $125 worth of product for $99. So, and then the next thing, if you're not on my email list or my newsletter, if you'd like to sign up for that, I think you can do that through Facebook. And that I send out a weekly email on Tuesday of each week to give you any updates as far as what Stampin' Up! Is doing, running promotions, what I'm doing, and then other crafting news that we may need to talk about. And then you also will get free tutorials that are exclusive to my customers, and they will not be seen anywhere else. Hi, everyone. Thank you for sharing. And then let's see what else. Oh, and then I did put, okay, 2 things. I'm offering, and I just did it, started it Sunday. It's a holiday card class with minimal stamping, and this can be for anybody, but it's really catering to those that are new at stamping and don't have a lot of materials or stamps. So the only thing that this class requires is a sentiment stamp, and really you can get away with not even having that. But I'll prepare all of the card stock and the designer paper and the ribbons and all that stuff. So you'll get 12 card kits. We're going to be doing 6 cards, 2 of each designs for a total of 12. And minimal stamping. It's just going to be a sentiment on the outside of the card, and some don't even have any stamping. We do some, and I'm providing all the die cutting and embossing and all of that. So, hi everyone. So that's something to look for. If you're on my newsletter, then you will see that the class went out. If you're not, let me know and I'll send you a link to it. If you're interested, it's $40. If you obviously, if you're outside of the area, then there's an additional $8 to send it in a priority mail envelope. And then I'm going to be, I'm finishing up another holiday class that I should have out hopefully by Friday or Saturday that is no stamping whatsoever. But it's really beautiful. It's using our memories and more cards and envelopes and cardstock that have got a real fancy Christmassy design. So that will be coming out the end of this week or this weekend. And then if you buy the 2 together, then you can get a discount. So anyways, that's it. And then the last thing, hi Amy Banks from Virginia. And then the last thing, I'm reaching out to all of my customers and to you, my Facebook audience. If you have a need to order something, I would greatly appreciate if you could place an order with me. I am very close to reaching a goal that I have been really working towards, and I need, and I've got a little product purchase. I'm doing a sales pitch here. If you order $50 or more, then I will give you a pack of the holiday rhinestones for free. And if you order an order of $100 or more, then you'll get a pack of these rhinestones and another embellishment. And I don't know what that is yet. I haven't figured that one out. But I'm really close. I know my husband goes, do you really think you can pull that off in 2 weeks? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to try. So anyways, if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to work with me or place an order from me, I would greatly appreciate it. And my blog is shallwestamp.com. So, okay, enough of the sales pitches for me. And last week, I drew 2 names because I thought I've got 4 cards, right? Because I'm making the 2 that we show, and then then I have the 2 that I made up in advance. So, Pam Horton McCormick, if you're on here, message me with your mailing address, and then Linda Carver, I see you just popped on. Your name was drawn too, so you all will get. Let me flip the camera down. You will get the fall card that we made, and then the no stamping on the Halloween card. All right, so if anybody knows Pam, please ask her to, let me flip you back, to get in touch with me. And if she can do that by Friday, then I'll get these out in the mail. So I'm excited about that. All right, so it looks like we're having a lot of people coming on. So, all right, let's see. It is 7:08, so let's get started. I was going back through my computer, and I ran across a video that I had made back when I first started doing videos, which was about 6 years ago, and I did them here and there. They were very sporadic. And it's I'll show you in just a minute. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is a great thing, especially with the holidays coming up. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you. But I did, I went to a craft fair, and I tell you, this was a hit. I sold so many, well, I probably sold about 10 of them, which I was shocked because I actually was at a Jewish community center, and several of the ladies were laughing because they were like, why are you all selling? And I said, don't you all have Christian friends that you need to send, holiday stuff to? So I did sell quite a few there, but they weren't all holiday, because this can be used for an anniversary, a birthday, somebody that's just had a baby, maybe they need to start drinking. No, I'm just joking. So I'm going to turn the camera down, and then when we get ready to start, I'm going to move the camera so that you all can see a little bit better. I am going to give you the dimensions, but if you have paper and pen, if not, I'll go very slow, and then you can watch it in the replay and write down the thing. So let me flip the camera around. Okay, so this is a bottle of wine. Now, I don't know, can y'all see that? I'm going to turn it at an angle. It's kind of like, it's like an octagon, but it's 6 sides. So what do you call that? Is that, I don't know what you call that. Anyways, so that's what we're making. The bottom is flat, and then we're going to cut some holes in the top and cut this all down and then make a little sentiment. Isn't that cute? So you do need a 12, and I'll give you the measurements. We do need a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. So you'll have to, either you can use white and you can stamp your own background, create your own background to add, or you can get a piece of, or we do have 12 by 12 cardstock. It's limited in the colors. And then you can use that for, and then cut the paper. But isn't that cute? I just thought, and I'm using that, the ribbon from the Halloween. Isn't that, I love this ribbon. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that really is beautiful, and that could be used for anything. So, oh, Pam, guess what? Your name was drawn from last week. So you get, let me move the wine bottle out of the way. You will get a, one of these cards that we made last week. And if you just message me with your mailing address, I'll get these out in the mail. Okay? And congratulations. Okay, so this is what we're going to be making. This beautiful, I think would be great. It's going to be great for the holidays and any really New Year's, any occasion that you want to give somebody. And it doesn't have to be wine. You could do flavored oils, like a flavored cooking oil or something like that. So anything that comes in a bottle, you should be able to fit in here. Okay, so anyways, all right, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Now give me just a minute. I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Trimmer, but I want to bring the camera down enough so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, okay? So give me just a second. Let me adjust this down. Bear with me just a minute. I'm going to lower this so we can get a little bit closer to, because I want y'all to be able to see everything. So, all right, hang on. I think that should be good. If we're too low, then I'll move it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start out with a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, but we're going to cut it down to 11 inches. So we're going to have one side's going to be 12, and then we're going to cut the other side down to 11. So I'm going to line this up at the 11-inch side. Let me make sure I'm in 11. You probably can't see that. So let me go ahead and cut this down. All right, so it's going to be 12 by 11 is our piece of cardstock. All right, so 12 by 11. Now, the first thing that we're going to do on the 12-inch side, which is this side here, we are going to score at 2 inches and 10. So let's move this over to 10 inches. We'll just do it this way. Let's go 10 inches, and we're going to do a score. And then we're going to move it down. I have to push really hard on my scoring blade. I'm not sure why, but I do. So we're going to go 10 inches, and then we're going to bring it over to the 2-inch mark, and we're going to score that. So I'm just going to push this down a couple of times so I can get some good creases. Okay, now we're going to turn our cardstock, and we're on the 11-inch side. So now we're going to score at 1 3/4. I have to start this way. Hang on a second. Let me move my paper over because I got my camera stand in the way. Oops, hang on. I just pulled my microphone off. Hold on. I'm all excited about this. Okay, giving y'all time to watch. All right, so the 11-inch side, the first scoring we're going to do is 1 3/4. So let's bring this over to the 1 3/4 mark. So that's right about there. And make sure you always line up the bottom. I know I tell you this all the time, but make sure, because sometimes it gets a little crooked. All right, so we're going to do 1 3/4. All right, then we're going to move it over to 3 1/2. All right, so we're going to get this over to 3 1/2. It really isn't that hard. The first time I did it, I was but now that I've done it a couple of times, it really isn't that difficult to do. Okay, so we just did 3 1/2. Now we're going to move over to 5 1/4. All right, so we're going to move to 5 1/4. Let me make sure I got that there. And we're going to do the score. And then we're going to move over to 7 inches. This is why our paper trimmer comes in handy when we're doing these large sheets. Okay, now we're going to move it to 8 3/4. So we've got it at 8 3/4. And then we're going to move it over to 10 1/2, which is going to leave us a 1/2 inch on the side, which will be what we're going to use for our closing. So we're going to pull this down at 10 1/2. Okay? All right, so we've got those. Now we're going to go back on the same 11-inch side, right? So this is our 11-inch side. We're going to go back And this is what we're going to do. We're going to make little notches in the middle of our squares. Can you all see, can you see the, I don't know if you can see the scoring lines. I'm trying to see if the light's pretty pitiful. Let me see if I can zoom in. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can zoom in a second. Hold on. Nope. Let me find my zoom. There we go. Let me see if we can get some zooming done. If you all can see these lines or not. You'll see them as soon as I start folding them. Okay. So now we're going to make little notches. So we have our panels right here, right? So we're going to make a little notch up in here. So let me tell you what those score marks are. So the little notch is going to be starting at 7/8. Actually, let me do this way and then let me do it. Let me do it this way. I don't want to get messed up. All right, so 7/8. So we got 3/4 and then 7/8 is right there. Now all we're going to do is come down just to make a little bit of an indentation. Not much. We just want to know that that's there because we're going to use that as a guideline to cut, okay? And then we're going to go from 7/8 to 2 5/8. So 2 5/8 is 2.5 and then 1 mark over, right? So we just want to make a little bit of a notch in the center just so that we know that's where we're going to do some more cutting. I'm going to make this a little bit so that we can see it, okay? All right, so now we're going to move this to 4 3/8. So that's going to be 1 over the quarter mark for those that are wondering. So there's 4. So that's going to be right there. So we'll make a little notch here in this top of this square. Sorry, I'm shaking my table. And then we're going to move to 6 1/8. And that's going to be, oh Lord, that's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? 6 1/8 is going to be, all right, there is, hang on a minute, 6 1/4. 6 1/8, it should be right about there. Okay, so we'll make a little notch here. All right, and then we're going to move it over to 7 3/8. So we're going to move that to 7 3/8 right there. We'll make our little notch. Okay, and then we're going to do 9 5/8. So we're going to move that over to 9 5/8 right there. Hang on a minute. Let me make sure I've got it. You probably can't see this, but we're going to make a little notch right there. And then the last one is, that's it, 9 5/8. Okay, now can you see those little marks that I did in the center? So you'll be able to see that's where we're going to be doing some cutting. And it looks like, yeah, see my score blade did not do very well. Give me 1 second. Let me go back. I'm going to go over this one line. It doesn't look like it did a very good score. So let me go back real quick. This should be the 8 3/4 and then 10 1/2. Let me run this real quick because this one doesn't look like it went through very well. So I'm just going to pull that down one more time. Okay. All right, I think we're good. All right, so that's all we've got to do on the scoring part. So now the next thing, before we do this, I'm going to go ahead and cut my paper and then I can get this thing out of the way. All right. Now your designer series paper, you want it to be 7 3/4 by 7 1/2. And I'm using the paper from the Poinsettia Place Designer Series paper. Isn't this beautiful? I love this. Okay, so we're doing 7 3/4 by 7 1/2. So this should be my 7 1/2, if I'm not mistaken. And then 7 3/4, I think is where I want to be. So I can get 6 of the, no, we want this way. Okay, so now we're going to cut 6 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch strip so that we can put it on our cardstock. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at my notes and I'm losing my train of thought here. So we want to do 1 1/4. So I hope I have it on the right page. Hang on a second. This is 7. Yeah, 7 3/4 by 7 1/2. Hang on, I think it's my 7 1/2 that I need. Hold up. Hold up. Nope, this is 7 1/2, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do let me get back. 1 1/4. I gotta stop talking. All right. So we're gonna cut 1 1/4. I hope I have this on the right side. So we're gonna do 1 1/4. So we're gonna. Whoops. Let me get that back in here and get it straight. So we're gonna cut 6 of these. So I hope I've calculated that right. My original thing said use 11-inch piece. And I thought, well, that's crazy. It was a lot of waste. So, okay, so there's 1 1/4, and we're going to do 6 of these. So that's 1, 1 1/4 here, line that up, and that's 2, and we'll do 1 1/4 again. And I could have done this in advance, but I just thought I'd let y'all watch me cut this. And this is the only project we're doing tonight, so I was thinking about making another card, but I thought, nah, this is going to probably be enough. All right, so there's 3, and then we've got 1 1/4. Get that right there, and that's 4, and then this should give us our last 2. And we'll line that up at 1 1/4. Okay, and all right, so there's all the cutting that we need to do. Now I can move my this thing out of the way for now. Oops, oopsie, hang on. Okay, so let's move that. All right, now let's get our paper and let's get started here. Let me move my little DSPs out of the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is our 1/2 inch strip, so we want to go ahead and we're going to cut off that one, that bottom section right here. And then we're going to cut off the top piece. So this is what's going to close our bag. All right, so we're going to do that. And let me cut that. And then I'm going to fold this after I cut this one off. But I want to go ahead and do that. Okay, now let's go ahead and fold score our score lines and get all these burnished so that then we can see what we're doing. All right. So, all right. So we're going to do that, and we'll come around and do this side. This is the top and the bottom. All right, and the one that we put the little notches in is going to be the top of our cardstock. So are y'all able to see this, or do I need to move the camera? Let me move the camera up just a little bit. I think we need to come out just a tad. Hang on. Let me move him up a little bit. I got to undo one. Hang on. I want y'all to be able to see all of this. Let me move it up, and then I'm going to adjust it. So everything's all tightened down, so it's kind of hard to move them. There we go. Whoop, sorry guys. I want to get this up a little bit higher. There we go. I think that'll work. Let me tighten this up real quick. Sorry. Okay, and then I can adjust it. There we go. Now let me move my camera. There we go. I think that's better. That should help. Okay, I wanted to make sure y'all can see everything. All right, so we're just going to go through here and burnish all of these score lines that we did, right? So we're just going to take our bone folder and make sure you do that because it's going to help in the process here. And then we're going to fold this one over. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over so I can just get to these sides. This is that 1/2 inch piece right here. This is what we're going to use as our closing. And then we'll go ahead and burnish all of these. Okay. All right, and we'll burnish this one. Okie doke. Now we want to cut up our flaps in the, okay, that's our top. So when you're looking at it, this, it doesn't matter, but this is the top because those are my notches. So we're going to cut these flaps up like we normally would do. So I'm just going to cut straight up, and I might angle them slightly, but you don't want to do too much of that. If I sometimes, when I'm trimming, I sometimes don't always get right on that score line, so I will have to come back and do a little bit of trimming. So you just want to trim these up to the score line, okay? All right. And this is really I mean, people are very impressed when they see this, you know? All right, so we've cut those up, okay? Now we're going to come over here. This is the top, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut these flaps as well. So let me, I'm concentrating because I don't want to screw this thing up. All right, so we're doing that, and I'm going to cut all of these up. And then one of the things that you do need to have is you want to have a quarter circle, in, like a quarter inch punch, circle punch, because we're going to cut, which we're going to do here in a minute. We're going to, after we finish this with these notches, then and see this one's off. And that's what happened when I did mine earlier. The little notchy thing was off, so I need to go back and fix that. I lost my train of thought now. Anyways, it'll come back to me. Okay, this one I need to check the measurements because this one is not is not accurate. And I had the same problem earlier, and I don't have my ruler. Where is my ruler? Let me see. I'll just use this. All right, bear with me 1 second. So this is 1.25 inches. So that would be, let's see, not an inch. Yeah, 1 inch. So that's 1/2 and then 1/4. So it'd be 3/4, right? So we need to make a little, let me get my bone folder. So we need to make a little 3/4 notch. No, it's not going to be, yeah, in this little area right here. So we need to move this over to right about there. You want them in the center of the square of each little tab, okay? So you want to get those notches so they're in the center. I'll go back and just verify that amount, and I'll put it I'll type up a thing and put it in the on the files in the Facebook page. Okay, so now that we have these all cut, these little notches that we did right here, right? So that's my little notch. All I'm going to do is I'm using that as a guide, and I'm going to cut that from where that notch is. I'm just going to cut it down to the corner, and you're going to do that on both sides. Because it's, and then you want, don't leave quite a bit of a tip. You can have a little bit of a square if you want on the end, because that's what's going to, where we're going to poke our holes so we can get our ribbon. So if you look at this one, see how they're pointed? I've got them cut at an angle with their point. That's what we're going to do, and then we're going to poke a 1/4 inch circle right there, and then wrap our ribbon around, okay? So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing. So that's why the notches, they just help to gauge it, that's all. And let me get my paper laid flat because it doesn't want to cooperate. All right, so this one, I'm going to move it over just a tad because I think that might be off just a little bit. All right, and then so we'll just continue. Let me move that out of the way. So we'll just continue to cut these little triangle things. And just bear with me. But I did want you to see this because it's nice to be able to see it from start to finish. Sometimes it helps. I'm a visual person, so I really need to see things when I'm making something. I'm not good at not being able to see it. So I want to get this down in here. Hang on a minute. I get my little snippies down there. And so I have to see. I'm the visual person. All right, and it's really hard because the light cardstock doesn't help either. And my lighting is probably not the greatest, though. Let me get that. I don't want to cut that one. So all we're doing is just cutting from that little notch and cutting down to each corner of that square, okay? So it really isn't that hard to do. It's just, it can be a little, I don't want to say time-consuming, but it's a little cumbersome because you're trying to hold the flaps and not cut the other flaps and all that stuff. So, all right, so we're going to come in here and then get that one done. And of course, I got stuff all over this table, so they're getting hung up on that. So, all right, let me pull up my comments and see. Okay, so how's everybody? All right, so let's cut this last little notch here. I just thought this is such a cute thing, and so I thought y'all might enjoy that. All right, so there's all our notches. Okay, doke. Let me throw this away. All right, so we have our, looks like a monster's teeth. So we have our top up here, and then we have our bottom down here. So I'm going to flip it over, and this 1/2 inch side right here, we're going to put tear and tape, okay? Because we want to make sure, since it's a box, we want to make sure it's going to stay tight when we put this thing together, so our box doesn't come apart. So let's go ahead and put our tear and tape on here, and then we'll just trim this off. Okay, let me trim a little bit. That's a little bit too much there. We don't want it to hold up anything. Okay. All right, so we've got our tear and tape on there. Let's go ahead and peel this off. And then we're going to close the box. What do you call a 6-sided thing? Does anybody know? I'm sure somebody has got to know what a 6-sided thing is. That a sextagon? And I know an octagon is 8, but I don't know what 6 is. Okay, so all we're going to do is fold this over, right? And adhere it to here, just like you do on any kind of boxes. We just want to make sure that it's even. and we're going to press it down and seal it shut. Okay, so there we go. It's all sealed. Let's rub it really good. Okay, so so far that's that. And you know what I should have done? I should have put our strips on here. So let's do that now. I should have done that before I laid it flat. So that's my fault. But it's okay. It'll still work. So what you want to do is, and I cut these too long. I did use the wrong size. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm going to have to correct my measurements because these are, it should have been the other side. So that's my mistake. This should be, I'm going to whack it off. Hang on a minute. I'll type up instructions and I'll post them for you all. So this needs to be cut probably about, let me see. Let me just do a little smidget and see. This is what, let me make it at 7 3/4 is probably what it should be. Let's see if that works. 7 3/4. Yep, 7 3/4. So the 7 3/4 is the length. So I cut it on the wrong side. Okay, so 7 3/4 instead of it's 7.5 by 7 3/4. The 7 3/4 is going to be your length that we want for our DSP. My mistake. So let me trim these up real quick and knock this out. My apologies. And then we'll attach these. Now, make sure that you don't do what I did. And it's not going to be a problem, but just make sure that you cut your, put your paper on before you fold your box. It's a lot easier when it's laying flat. So don't do what I did, but it's okay. It's all going to work out. So y'all just get to watch me do a little trimming here. So we'll cut that at 7 3/4. Okay, there we go. All right, that's okay. Things happen, right? It's okie dokie. It will work fine. Let me just get these little pieces of paper out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add our strips to our box. And I'm just going to do these 3, and then I'll flip it over and do the back. So all I'm going to do is use my liquid glue and attach these. Now, if you want to, you know, make sure like when you cut them, if you want to line them up, which I didn't think to keep those in line, but you could make sure your design goes all the way across, and not if that's a big deal. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go with the flow. Maybe this one goes there. Yep, probably does. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and attach these, and I'm just going to use the liquid glue because it's going to be easier for me to move it if I need to. Okay, and let me grab my little snippy do, or whatever you call these things, tweezers. All right, so let's put this on here and just get them down to where it's somewhat even. Okay, so we've got that one, and then we'll do the next one. I'm losing track of my glue here. I'm not going to worry about if the design doesn't go side by side, but if I was sitting here and y'all weren't watching, I would do that, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so let's pick these up, and all right, so let's see. Eyeball. That's what I do. I eyeball everything, Karen. I'm not a real perfectionist, if y'all can't tell that. I just go with it. You know what? I just always say that. You know, and this is the one that should have went there, but that's okay. You know, when somebody buys something that's handmade, I mean, gosh, I hope they don't expect perfection, because they're not going to get it from me. Though I do my best. I'm just saying, I don't let those little things like this, you know, I don't get freaked out over that. I just do the best I can, and I don't worry about it. I mean, you know, it's not going to bother me if something is a tad crooked. And I guarantee whoever, you know, gets a card or the box or something, they're not going to be scrutinizing this pattern. They're going to be going, oh my God, what a beautiful box. All right, so we'll flip it over and get the next ones done. And I think my little Tombow guy is running out. You know, this Tombow was on back order, and I finally they must have got a bunch in, because I got mine in the other day, and I just actually ordered some more. You know, me and my white glue, don't like it, but I do like it because I use it all the daggone time now. All right, so we'll just get these on here, and then all right, it's coming together. This one looks a little bit thicker, doesn't it? That one looks a little bit wider. I'm going to measure this one. Yeah, this one I need to cut. See? I got to cut him down. He's supposed to be 1 and, what'd I say? 1 and 3, 1 and a quarter. 1 and a quarter. Yep, he was a little off. So let me shut this and cut it. Okay. All right, there we go. I love this paper. Isn't this beautiful paper, you guys? Don't you love it? I just love the non-traditional Christmas colors. I just think that is awesome. And I love the blues and the other colors that we have. I just think, and this paper, I just opened this paper and for this project, so I haven't even started using this yet, but it is, I mean, I know I cut it up when I did my paper shares, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. But I love the colors. They're light, and you know, I like the red and green, but sometimes, you know, after a while you want something a little different, you know. So let's just lay this little guy right here, place him here. At least I'm getting them somewhat lined up. Okay, all right, one more, and then we'll get into the rest of the story, as they say. Whoops, got a little bit too much right there. Make sure that little guy don't ooze out. Let's move him up. Okay, so let's put this one on, and then we'll get cracking with the rest of it. All right, so, but one thing, yeah, if you do have a pattern and you cut it, you might want to keep it in line so that you can line them up, and it probably would look prettier. Or you can make your own background paper, you know, stamp on a piece of Whisper White cardstock and make your own. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the, I've got one of our old quarter inch hole puncher thingies, and we are going to punch holes. Now I'm going to line these up together and do two, I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to try if it doesn't kill my hands. I'm going to line these up and try to do my hole punch together. So that way I know that they're going to be lined up. And you can push it down how far you want. I think I'm only going to go right about in this area because you want to make sure you don't cut off the sides, right? Because we're going to run ribbon through this thing. So I want to push this in, and I'm just going to push it down to, I'm just eyeballing this again. It doesn't have to be exact. And I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to try to make sure I've got it centered. And then I'll try to do the same thing for each of the holes. So if you do the two together, then at least you know you've got that much that are going to be even, right? So we'll just go down just a little bit and pop that one, and then we've got one more to do. See, it comes together. Once you get past all the cutting and scoring and stuff, it really does come together pretty quickly. So let's push this in, and we'll just go down a little bit more and pop that in. Okay, so there's our holes. That's where we're going to put our ribbon. And I'll do that. I think I'll do that after we get the bottle in there. It might, nah, let's do it. Let's do it this way. And I tell you, I'm going to use this ribbon because I think with the vanilla and the gold, I think that's going to look really pretty. So all I'm going to do is start, and you can, it doesn't matter however you want to make your box. So I'm just going to start feeding it in. And then we'll go in and then come up and just go up and over, okay? And just be careful when you pull so that you don't rip the cardstock. And I'm going to feed this in, and then I'll probably cut off, and then I'll fix the ribbon. I'll probably cut a longer piece off than what's needed. That way we can work on the bottom, because the bottom is the part that will be a little bit of a challenge. So let me just pull some of this through. Okay, so you just want to be careful that you don't pull too hard and rip your little circles, especially after all the work that we've done to put this together. All right, so we'll, and then once you cut it, you can always adjust the ribbon. All right, so we'll do that, and then we'll put one here, and this one's going to go up over, yeah, this one's going to go in this way. And you can wait and put this on once you get the bottle in it. It's all up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and cut, but I'm going to cut a little bit excess because I'm going to tie a bow, and I'm going to shift this ribbon around. So I'm just going to cut that right there. And I don't know how much ribbon it is. I didn't measure it, but we'll fix that in a minute. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottle of wine and we're going to slide this over the bottle, okay? Now this part, we're going to lay it down. So you want to lay the bottle down and you want to push the bottle up to where you can bend the flaps in, okay? So we want to get it, keep pushing it to where we've got it to where it's flat, all right? Does that make sense? So now what we're going to do, and you want to do this in the same, when you're starting to glue your flaps down, you want to do it in the same rotation. Let me get my glue over here. So if I start here, then I know I want to go this way, and you want to just keep the bottle, you know, so it's flat, okay? And then we're just going to continue to go around in this direction, all right? So this one I'm going to lay flat. We're not going to put any adhesive on that. So this one, I know this much right here. Can you see? Let me lift this up. This much right here, I'm only going to put glue right about here. So you just want to put enough glue that's going to attach to the piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to put some right here. And then as we move along, you'll see we'll start adding more adhesive. So I'm going to lay this down. I got to push, let me push my bottle back just a little bit because I want to make sure I can get it in here flat. All right, let's push him in, and then we're going to lay that there and hold it for just a second, and now I can push my bottle against my thumb. And just let it sit for a second so it adheres. All right. The box laying flat looks like crayons. Oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. All right, so now this one we're going to flap in, right? So we know we can put adhesive from like 3/4 of the way down because it's going to cover... Well, we don't want to do that side. So we're going to do this side here. Sorry, I can't turn it because I got to hold it in place. So I'm just going to add the adhesive. I'm going to stay away from the other side because that's where part of the bottle is. But we'll put some right here. And let me put that back in my stand. And then we're going to pull this one up and then hold that one there. So we just want to hold it long enough for it to grab, okay? And if you have to, just put your hand on the bottle and push it in towards your thumb. Okie doke. All right, and then we're going to do this one. Now this one we know it's going to come up quite a bit, right? So we can go ahead and put adhesive all the way here and around the edges. All right, so this one we're going to push up like that. And again, I want to push my bottle down because I just want to make sure that my bottom gets attached. Now, whoever's name gets drawn for this, I will go ahead and make one that's flat that I can send to you because obviously these are, it'd be kind of hard to mail without the bottle of wine. I don't think my husband would appreciate me giving away his bottle of wine. I don't drink wine. Well, I do sangria, we'll put it that way, but I don't do wine. I do vodka or mojitos or whatever. It's not often. Okay, so now we're going to flap this one up, and I'm trying to leave, you know, if you can see right here, the bottle, so I'm trying to keep the glue up, so I'm just going to put that one right there. And then this is our last tab, so I know I can put quite a bit of adhesive on here. So we'll just put that here, make sure it gets a lot on there so it holds flat. And then we're going to push that one in and then hold that for just a minute. And now we're going to stand it up and let it just sit. Okay? So let me see if I can get this camera moved up some that you can see. I'm going to leave it sitting like that just for a minute, and then I'll tilt it once we get done. Okay? Now, let me go ahead and adjust the ribbon, and then I'll lay them back down flat in just a second. So you just have to determine which side you want your to be the front of your bottle. It's really not, you know, nothing... Not anything that's drastic. Just I'm just feeding the ribbon through, pulling it through so I don't tear the holes, and getting it down to where I can tie a bow. Okay, so you don't want to pull it, you know, really tight, but you can pull it tight enough because you want it to be taut around your bottle, right? So let's pull this one down, and I'll lay this thing down in just a minute. Let me see if I can bring the camera back up some. Hold on a minute. Let me see, because it's really better if y'all can see. So bear with me 1 second. I'm going to tilt this one down, and let me tighten this one up. Hold on. Okay, so I do think this vanilla is going to look gorgeous with the gold trim. So let me just let me twist the ribbon, and you can always play with that later. Okay, so see how my bottom, do you see that? How it's, let me tip it upside down. See how it's all glued on there and it's kept the octagon shape or whatever you want to call it? So we're going to let it sit there. All right, and I've got this pulled in, if you can see the ribbon, okay? So I'll lay it down so that you can, let me tightly it up, and then let me tie my bow. So I'm going to pull this in a little taut, and then I'm just going to go ahead and tie my bow and trim up the ribbon, and then I'll type a sentiment, or stamp a sentiment, and then we'll finish up our bottle. So let me tie my bow. I'm not going to tie it too tight, again, because I don't want it to rip. Now, you probably can mail this if you package it really well in bubble wrap. You know, you'd have to mail the bottle of wine. But, I mean, gosh, how cute is that? All right, so let me just trim up my tails. I love this vanilla ribbon. Oh, my goodness. This goes perfect. Oh, perfect. Okay. All right, so there is our bottle. Can you see that? I'm going to lay it down. Let me lay it down for you. I've got my ribbon tied right here. Let me lay it down. Okay, and let me move the camera down a little bit. I know it's dry. I apologize, but I want y'all to be able to see. So let's drop him down. Let me see if I can. Whoops, sorry. Try not to make it seasick. Hang on a minute. Let me adjust it. There we go. Hang on. Let me tighten the sucker up. Good thing I didn't plan on doing another card because it's taken. There we go. All right, so can y'all see that? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right, so now I use Pear Pizzazz, in case you're wondering. I'm sorry, this is Old Olive, pardon me. Old Olive in the 12 by 12 cardstock. So I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas and on Very Vanilla. And then we're going to use a couple of punches. So let me go ahead and stamp the Merry Christmas. And then again, this is Old Olive. And we'll stamp it right about here. And I'm using the 2-inch circle punch for my sentiment. So we'll go ahead and cut this one out. Pardon me. So we'll go ahead and cut that out. Let me get in the camera so y'all can see. So I'm doing my Merry Christmas. All right. And so we have that. And then I'm taking the Bumblebee, because that is also one of the colors that coordinates. And I'm using the Label Me Lovely punch, and we're going to use this to attach our circle to, because it's kind of got that circly look, right? So let's do that and move this out of the way. All right, so we're going to go ahead and attach our sentiment to our Bumblebee piece of cardstock, and then we're going to add some our holiday rhinestones. I love those little guys, but you know, those can be used all year. I don't know why they call them holiday. I guess because they have the holiday colors. So I'm going to go ahead and add this on here, this Very Vanilla. So I'm trying to pull the colors together. And that's one thing I love about Stampin' Up! Is everything is color coordinated. So, you know, it makes it look like we are really experts, but they've done all the work for us. All we have to do is read the back of the package, right? So let's put 2 dimensionals on here. Now the dimensionals I'm going to put on top of each other because I want it to go, you know, on the side right here. So I'm just going to put one at the top and one at the bottom here, okay? So we'll do that and peel the backings off. And then, oh, you know what? Before I do that, hang on a second. Let me get my mat because I already took my things off. Let me move the bottle. The bottle's in the way. Let's add some of these rhinestones. Where are they? Hang on a minute. Here they are. So we even have the rhinestones that we can use to coordinate. So I'm going to pull, even though the green's not Old Olive, I am going to put, I think I'll do one of the gold, but I want to put some other colors. So I think I'm going to use the green. You know, whatever. It's fine. It's the holidays. So we'll put gold, and you could have put one up there. I'm just going to put those 3. All right. And then I'm just going to add that with I'm going to put it right here on my bottle. And there you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Can you see my bottle? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't you love to receive this as a gift? And that really isn't that hard to make. So all you have to do is just make sure you've got some 12 by 12 paper. Oh, Karen Jo says she's going to make these for the holidays and New Year's. Oh, that would be good. Black and silver for New Year's. See? And I think it would be great for a birthday. You could do with birthday paper and give somebody a bottle of wine, or, you know, I don't know. You can even get soda. So, or a baby shower, you know, if they, I don't know, whatever. anything you can think of. So, but anyways, isn't that gorgeous? So I'll make sure to type up the instructions. The main thing on that little notch, if you find that it's off, just you want to get that notch in the center of that one little flap. So I think I had to move it over a little bit, but I'll go back and try to type that up and put it in the files. I think I have a file section. So all right, there you go. So there's a new project for y'all to try. And if you make some of these, please share them with me. I'd love to see them. I'd love to see what y'all come up with. And let me put myself back on there so I can talk to y'all. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed it. Here, I'll hold up the bottle this way. That will make it look better. Wait, hang on. Let me get into the camera. Oh, there we are. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love this. Look at that. Whoops, I'm turning it the wrong way. You know when you're on camera, everything's backwards. But isn't that pretty? And I love the paper. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So there you go. There's a new something for you all to create and show your friends how creative you guys are. So thank you so much for spending Tuesday with me. Thanks, Karen, for all the hearts. I appreciate that. Next week, I might do something different as well. We'll see. I've got some other things that I've done in the past that I'm pulling out of the wood because I like different fun folds and different folds like this. This is something that's very unique, and I think your friends and family will absolutely love it and think you're wonderful. So thanks, Chris. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will put the directions, again, let me type it up and I'll put the directions online for you, but you can always rewatch this. Thanks again for spending Tuesday evening with me. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you all next week. Have a great week and enjoy your weekend. Bye now.